Welcome to Eclectic Images Travel Tips. Today I want to show you why stamping is such an awesome hobby to go on your holidays with you. Because you can create something that you can take with you and work on without it having to take up much space. So if you're, or even weighing too much. So if you're flying or traveling in a caravan or a tent or something and you really haven't got much room for packing things, stamping can be the one for you. So to start with, you need a surface to stamp on and to work in. So that's where the journals come in. So we've got something like this, the Malini watercolour journal, which is 300 GSM watercolour paper. So that's great if you're wanting to do some watercolouring as you go. We also have this really cool Elements of Art notepad, which I just love the fact that the little tie around it. So this is 150 GSM paper, suitable for wet or dry media. I did find myself when I was playing with it that brush markers went through the page, whereas watercolouring didn't go through. So I'd prefer this one to be for sketching, watercolouring, a combination of note-taking and drawing. But that cover just begs to be decorated, doesn't it? But that would be something to do when you get home, not while you're travelling. The other one is our other basic Malini journal, which again, this is 150 GSM cartridge paper, really suitable to wet or dry media. Now I've already decorated the cover of that one and used it quite a bit. But what you can do is actually pre-stamp some pages. So I've inked up stamps with the VersaFine Clear Twilight ink. The only thing you've got to be careful of is to mount your stamp near the edge of the block, particularly when you're going to do stamping close to that ridge line there. The name of it escaped me, the spine. So when you're going close to there, if you're stamping this stamp and you're trying to get in there, the block is going to get caught on that side of the paper. So make sure that you can butt your block up into there to be able to stamp. The other thing that's often good is to pop something firm like a magnetic art station underneath to make that an easier surface for stamping on. So I can pre-stamp this before I go away. And then, actually I lied, this one has been stamped in Nocturne, this has been stamped in the black. But then all we've got to take with us is some colouring tools. So we might choose to take some Pentel brush markers. We might choose to take something like the Uniquely Creative shimmer pen. So with these, we could do just some basic colouring directly with the marker. You can do two colours and do some blending. So you can make your colouring be quite a meditative process, quite a lovely creative process by just how you tackle the colouring. Of course, we can watercolour with these as well. So the other tool that I would pop in would be just one of your acrylic blocks, because then you can use that as a palette. And with just an aqua wash brush, and it doesn't hurt to throw in a bit of paper towel as well. So an aqua wash brush, we can pick up some of those colours and actually turn them into some watercolour paints. And do some painting with them. Again, we can do some blending. So it's something that you can just play with while you're away, just for when you feel like you want to be a little bit creative, but you haven't had to take a whole lot of tools with you. So the other thing that we could do is we could colour. Let's put a bit of colour on there. And then instead of the aqua wash brush, let's grab the sparkle pen. So we can pick up and blend that colour, but now we're adding a lovely little sheen to where we've coloured in. So a few tools like that aren't taking up much room at all, and yet you can create some beautiful artworks with them. The other thing that you could use would be something like some gel pens. Now these are a lovely pastel gel pen. So what if we grab some colours here And of course this could be used alongside your other media, so you could actually do some brush markers and some watercolouring on some, and then just add some gel pen bits and highlights where you want to. So these are great for getting into some of the smaller areas where you might not want to be doing blending with your other pens. So a lot of it is going to depend, what you do on your travels is going to depend on how much room you've got with what you're taking with you. But most of this, to do a journal like this with just a bit of colouring tools, you're going to be able to fit that into just a small tub or a small box. Now the other one, I've also done a page here. This is the one that I did with the Twilight ink. So that's the VersaFine Clear Twilight. I've used Twilight or VersaFine Clear for both pages because it dries waterproof. So it means that if I feel like doing some watercolouring, the inks aren't going to bleed anywhere. So what some other things we could do? You could take some coloured pencils and just do colouring with coloured pencils, which is so much fun. So we could just take a pack of something like this. These ones are actually watercolour pencils, which gives us the freedom that we can use them just as pencils, or we can use them as a watercolour medium if we want to play with them that way. But we can just colour like pencils, or we can colour. So I'm putting a fair bit of colour on there, and then I'm going to go a bit lighter. And then I think I might come in with some white. And then I'll use my aqua wash brush, just using that little bit of paper towel just to clean the brush off to make sure that it's not carrying colour from the last thing I did. Just pick up some of that white and just smoosh it into the pink there. So again, that's an aqua wash brush, a set of pencils, and our book. And if we wanted to, we could still pop in our acrylic block as a bit of a palette if we wanted to. But I find with watercolour pencils, I'm usually better just colouring directly on the paper or picking up some colour from the pencil and then painting that on. So that just shows, and then of course we throw in either using our gel pens, or we could throw in just normal pen, or even a brush pen, so that we could add a little bit of journaling or highlighting text if we want. If we felt like, this one I've actually stamped a word in there, but if I've sort of done this and I've stamped my flowers and I think, I'd like to add something else, you can just use your pen. I can't do an S upside down, so we'll leave that. But yes, you could just add some journaling in there if you wanted to, or you can just doing it with your gel pens, or as I said, a normal biro. So that's a great way of actually, by pre-stamping your pages, it means that you don't have to take too much stuff with you, and so we can just just decide on 1 or 2 colouring mediums depending on your space. Always good to throw in a water brush, and you're right to go. So, what are you going to take on your next holiday? Hopefully, pre-stamp some pages and have some fun with some arty, creative time while you're relaxing by the beach, the bush, wherever you like to go for on your holidays. So join us in the classroom and in the shopping hall for the Great International Craft Show 19. See you there.